Stage lights cold as a winter rain. One breath, one prayer, then the world went strange. Crowd froze up when the thunder cracked. Truth on a mic and a life attacked. He talked about hope in a storming land, Bible in the heart and a promise in his hands. But a shadow reached from a coward's perch, cut down a son in the middle of church. And I swear if the tables turned the other way, y'all know there'd be fires in the streets today. But here we stand with candles and a folded flag, begging God for mercy on the road we drag. How dare they steal the breath from a faithful man? How dare they stain the grass where his boots once stand? They call us evil, point at our cross, then pull that trigger and reckon no cost. If it were theirs, there'd be sirens and flames, but we're praying for truth while we whisper his name. Charlie, we ain't letting go of your hand.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, there we are. Meant to throw that up there just a couple seconds sooner, but unfortunately, that's the way I go. I didn't get my click in time enough. But thank you all for coming out on this kind of yucky night. That's the nice thing about yucky nights. I don't feel bad sitting inside with a sweatshirt on and a cup of coffee and chit-chatting around the old computer about what's going on with everybody, and I appreciate that. Give everybody a minute to come on. The channels are lighting up. It's very nice to see so many people jumping on so quick. But I do have a small favor to ask. There is the Community Votes Erie 2025 nomination. It closes tonight at 12 o'clock. Brenda has put the link in the chat. I hate that. It cuts my face off. She did put the link. It's a very long link. Sorry about that. That's just the way they did it. And then once you go to that, click on that link, go to it. Look under radio. Don't look under DJ. Look under radio stations, and there will be boots on the ground. If you would nominate me, I would greatly appreciate it. We took Erie by storm with the People's Choice Awards, which is I'm still very humbled, and it's very, very, very nice. And speaking of that, I got a letter from my state representative, Bob Mursky, here. I know it's kind of hard if you're on a small device to read that. If you're Lance watching on the big TV, you should be able to read it. I mean, it says, it says, Brian, congratulations on Boots in the Ground with Brian Shank being chosen for the winner of the 2025 Erie Choice Awards in the radio personality category. As your state representative, I'm proud to represent you and your business in Harrisburg. Thank you for the contributions to Erie and a vibrant community. It goes on and on and on and on, but I'm not going to bore you with all that stuff. It's on my social media, but I thought that was really nice of Bob to send that. Yes, he is my state rep. Yes, we do not always agree politically. I've always said I like Bob Mursky. I think he does a pretty decent job, takes care of our police departments, takes care of our fire departments. I see a lot of grant money coming our way through his office, and I appreciate that. There's some other issues that I don't agree with, but that was very nice to check the mail, and there was a nice letter. I'm like, oh, geez, what is this from? House of Representatives? Geez, I made somebody mad. It was a nice letter. I appreciate that, Bob. I sent his wife a text. I don't have Bob's information, so I sent his wife a text and said, "Hey, tell your husband I said thank you for that nice letter." So yeah, I mean, not too bad. You know, it's nice to get recognized by the folks that are the movers and shakers in our community. And there's a lot of things going on. Right, after voting for his wife, that's the least Bob Persky could do. That's a good point, Bill. But it was an issue of, we got to vote for a Democrat. Which one we going to vote for? I just I figured Mrs. Mirsky was just a little bit more honest about her political views on what side of the street she was on. So man, all I get, yeah. Well, Matt, trust me, all I get is bills, and it's. But I got and of course it's a nice fancy letter, House of Representative Bob Mirsky, blah 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 blah. So I was like, Brenda, I opened it up like, wow, this is kind of cool. So I scanned it, put it on my social media, and we scanned it, put it on the show because this is what we have done and tried to accomplish is we have a format for our voices to hear. There's a lot going on politically. I'm not going with the blue wave scenario that they're pushing around because really the city races we didn't really expect to win and we have not won. And I just didn't feel that there was going to be that red wave. I never used that term red wave because I wasn't buying it because I just didn't feel it. And I knew it wasn't going to be that big of a push. Some of the races I was a little Bretton Davis, I was a little really, and Harry Morgan, that was the shocker. I mean, that was the real shocker. I figured that was going to be real easy, but again, the Democrats just came out and they came out better than we did, and they won. Um, that's why we are having a meeting Wednesday night at the Republican headquarters to have a talk about what happened and what didn't happen. Oh boy, that's going to be a fun meeting on Wednesday night. And then we have our regular meeting on Thursday night. So that's going to be fun because I know there's going to be a lot of people a little pissed off at the local party and the way it's been handled. So yeah, I would yeah. So yeah, other than that, there's lot of stuff going on. Yeah, we'll go through that. Yep. Nope. I don't need to talk about that one. So yeah, and here we are just on a Sunday night. We decided to kind of slide over to the Sunday thing, keep it about an hour. And then don't forget about Wednesday, the 19th is also the uh, Republican Women's Luncheon at the Siebenberger. Um, it's a nice time. There's a little bit of politics. A lot of people just sit around talking about who's who, what do. Now we're going to do this. It's called the passing of the baton. Since Bernie has left us, she was kind of the person in charge. So there will be a slight little ceremony. It's not that big of a deal. They literally have a baton that they hand it'll be handed over to Teresa, and she'll be in charge of the women's luncheons. And it's a good time. It's a Siebenberger. It starts at 12 o'clock. Please stop by and the $15 donation for your lunch. It's not a bad deal. $15. Then you throw $5 in the 50-50. I actually won last time, and I just donated it back to the ladies. The Hey for Trump. Well, yeah, I mean, trust me, Hope, we can get that. And that's, we don't have a budget on the state. That we're in a record no budget for the federal government. And the Democrats and the media have just been pounding. It's all Democrat driven. That it's all Republicans' fault. Well, the last time I remember, and we have a video, not my words, all the hot shot Democrats discussing how the 60 vote thing works. Hello, Kim.
Hello, everybody. I didn't know if you had a guest tonight or not. I
Nope.
couldn't remember.
No, I always let that. I try to put a little precursor that we have a guest coming on. No, just a Sunday. Keep it light, keep it quick, and go through some videos, talk about the stuff. Like I said, that I have a great video Brenda found on how they discussed the 60 votes to do anything. It's not a new concept. It's been around a long time, and wait till you see what hot shots, wink, wink, that, oh, hang on a second. I got to put that up there. Wait for it. Loading. Sarcasm is loading. So yeah, I got to put that up there. But so what's going on?
Well, you know what? I'm really turned up. I'm really tanked up. I'm so glad you brought up the ladies' luncheon because in addition to our wonderful, wonderful friend, Miss Teresa, getting the baton, because,
Yes.
she was helping Miss Bernie with so much stuff there towards the end. We're going to be changing the name. It's no longer going to be called the Ladies Republican Luncheon because then we always have to say, and by the way,
Right.
men are welcome. The name's going to be changed and it's going to be named after the great two ladies, Miss Anne Greenwald and Miss Bernie, and I just know the two of them are up in heaven saying, we told you so. We told you so. We told you so. And we know they're gossiping about us.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I just think that's fabulous.
Yeah, I mean, what an honor to the two the driving forces behind the whole organization. I think they should be named after the two of them. Not that there's not a lot of people that put a lot of time and effort into it, but they were literally the women that got it up and running and started and made it the
Oh
force
my
it is.
God.
So what an
And
honor.
just such encyclopedias of
Yes.
information,
Oh,
and they called it like it was. You knew sometimes they would yell at me, but I knew they did it with love,
oh my
just like
God.
you do.
It was so fun. We were at it was at a meet and greet and was the timekeeper. She'd sit there with her watch on and she would just scream back, "Time!" So
I know.
you knew it was time. I didn't want to scream in the microphone and blow everybody's speakers out. But
And I remember the first time Trump came to Erie with his big jet, and everybody was supposed to meet at the airport, and they opened those hangar doors, and everybody goes, "Oh, it's raining out." And Miss Birdie said, "To hell with that! It's snowing out."
right. Oh no, I get that. So yeah, that's why we're gonna plug that. I'll be there. It's a great time. You get to meet. It's nice when the candidates are running for office. You can kind of meet up with them and rub elbows and shake their hands and look them square in the eye. Um,
Yes. Now, and I do see somebody put up something there about we need local GOP leadership change. And I'm so glad they brought that up because that's something else. Now, don't you think I'll be at that membership on Wednesday the 19th? And I am going to be going all out Italian on them. And, I was going to do a vote of no confidence on Thursday, but, I was going over the calendar and there's really only 2 meetings left. But the next primary is going to be on May 19th. But before that, it will be petition time again. Now, there's almost 300 slots for committee people. And right now we're down to 35. Now, we will be more than happy. You only need 10 names on a petition to run for committee. And now that you only need 10 votes. Okay. And we will be more than happy to help you with that information. You get your little petition, you fill it out, you get your 10 signatures, you file it up, you file it at the county courthouse, just like if you're running for an office. You
right.
go down to your local polling site, you say, "Can you please vote for me?" It's that simple.
It's literally that simple. I mean, it's just you just need 10 names to get on the petition, and then once you're on the ballot, you get 10 people to vote for you, and then once you get your 10 votes in the primary, you're on. It's not like you have
Right.
to go all the way to November to get elected. No, it's all decided right at the primary, and then we have the people, and that's
Right.
what
And right afterwards, we'll have a meeting. You get up, you say, "I want so and so to be the chairman." I know myself, I'm going to nominate Brian because let's face it, guys and girls, he's already the unofficial chairman. Everybody goes to him with everything. So, and the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get rid of that name ECRC because I don't even know where that name came from. Everybody looks at me like, what the hell is that? Everyone else around here is known as the GOP of Butler, or GOP of Lancaster. We're going to change it back to the GOP of Erie County. We want to get the younger generation involved. We've got Scott Pressler's group, and these kids want to be involved, but they want it under a fresh new leadership. We're going to have exciting events. We're going to have fun events geared towards these younger kids. They are our door knockers. Okay. I did it this last election. It about killed me. They're the ones that will get that they will be the ones to go and chase these ballots. And I'm telling you guys now, we have to get ahead of this, or we're not going to get our great person, Stacey Garrity, in there as governor. We're going to lose Mike Kelly for Congress. Okay. We got some big, heavy races coming up, and they are going to be what we need to get in there. Okay. As for the city, they want to do this new home rule charter thing. Okay. You want that all decided by a bunch of Democrats? Stay at home. Don't get involved with the local GOP. Okay. They're going to ruin the city even more than they already have. And I'm telling you what, Christine Vogel, the first thing she said is she's going to do is raise county taxes. They already put it in the day after the election. They're going to raise the city taxes. They're raising the garbage, the sewer, the water fees. Okay. Hashtag I told you also. This is what everybody wanted. This is what they voted for. You voted for this by staying at home. I'm not trying to be mean, but this is what we said was going to happen, and it happened. We have future elections coming up. Okay. We need to get people on the GOP that are going to help great qualified candidates get elected. I'm not giving up on this. They won this last battle. We will win this war. We got Caleb out there. He's going to get on board and help us. We got Joe. He's moving from Virginia down here to Erie to help us. Presser said he will concentrate on Erie County, but we need to get fresh new leadership in our local GOP. Brian and I will be there with you guys to help you 110%, but we cannot do it on our own. It's the same 10, 15 people that show up. So we need each and every one of you. And even if you don't win on committee with Brian in the lead as chairman, he will assign you a district. This is how we'll get those 200 to 300 people on committee. So please talk it up with your friends, talk it up with your neighbors. Say, hey, we can get you on committee. Please take the time. If you have any questions, come to me, come to Brian, come to Tim Kuzma. We will help you. We will hold your hands, but we can only hold your hands so far.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I can only hold, I can only hold your hand so much. I can't spoon feed you, and
right.
we do this a lot, is we end up spoon feeding information to you, where I have to focus so much on 2 people where I could be handling 50 people, but that's okay. That we're going to do that. So yeah, Tom, appreciate you coming in tonight. We read your report. If you guys don't know, check out Tom's report. It's on my social media. It kind of identifies the problems that we're having locally. And his question was, how do we get on committees? So Tom, I hope we're answering your questions. I sit here and try to catch all the conversation and highlight the important parts. But yes, okay, appreciate all that information.
Right. And like I said, I'm always available. I'm like an open book. I will talk to you forever. And let me tell you something else, guys and girls. Brian and Brenda and myself, Greg Hayes, Tim Kuzma, his girlfriend, we all went to an event all the way down in Slippery Rock for Mayor J.D. Longo. We talked to so many people at a state level now, okay? Commissioners, state representatives and stuff. They all said they've heard of Tom Eddy, don't like him. This man is representing us here in Erie County and giving Erie County a bad case. When I was running for office, I had to go to Butler, to Lancaster, to Slippery Rock to get donations for my campaign because I couldn't get them here in Erie County because of one person, Byron Thomas Eddy. So we're not going to get anywhere. We're not going to get Brian to win his seat back or anybody else unless we get rid of this man. He's absolute poison. He hates strong women. And let's face it, we need strong women to back our men in order to win these future races. We're not going to get rid of mail-in ballots until we get our great Colonel Stacey Garrity elected as governor. So any questions, please feel free to reach out to myself, Brian, or Tim. We will help you with anything. And with that, Brian, thank you so much. Brenda, thank you so much. Keep up the good work, putting the information out there. And with that, everybody have a joyful Sunday, and I can't wait to talk to you all on Wednesday. Bye-bye.
Right. Boy, you get those Italian girls wound up. They just go like a little top. Zoom. But yeah, no, Tom, thanks for the questions. Those are great questions, and I'm hoping that we're answering them for you. And that's the whole point of why we do this show. It's not sponsored. We don't charge for any. We might run a couple ads here and there. When the candidates were running for office, I ran some ads. They asked me, what do we owe you? I said, don't worry about it. We are here for the mission. I'm an Army veteran, and it's mission first. The money's irrelevant. I'm retired. I collect my Social Security now, so I just hit that magic number. But I'm retired. I have the time, and this is why Brendan and I do the show. We started out on 1400, bought some airtime, then we went over to 105.9 Talk Erie. Then got a little expensive, so we're like, ugh, we can do this at home, and then we got with this found Brenda found this company Restream, and so we are just basically doing it out of our. I used to have a hashtag for the dining room, because this is what we did. We just kind of like encapsulated because the sign behind us, the other side is the kitchen. So we do the best we can with what we got. So other than that, like I said, we got a lot of things to cover, a lot of things to talk about. We've got Tom. We do a hybrid. I don't know if you've ever caught any of the show. We have the call-ins. We'll take we take the comments from the audience, and then I can see what channels the hottest right now. Let's see here. Well, Facebook. Yeah, Facebook is doing the best, and of course YouTube in second. Here the part next. Many of us have skills that are needed. Social media, call center, web. You're absolutely right, Tom. There's a lot of assets here, and I hate to reference back to my military experience. That's what you're taught is to how to utilize your assets. I don't know how to do a website. We're going to find people that know how to do a website, but we can come together and we can have that conversation and reallocate those assets to where they need to be deployed and get the right people for the right job. We've got a great little team here that are go-getters. We put an event together, they show up. But there's a huge disconnect with us in the local Republican Party. As a committee person, I won't go into too deep of the dirt, but when the chairman gets in your face, literally inches from your nose, and calls you a two-time loser because you didn't do well on your elections. I said, well, we don't do well on our elections because we get no support from the party. And you know what? That's fine, Tom. We'll see you at the end game. So yeah, I mean, Tom, you're absolutely right. There's a lot of things that need to be fixed. Your report, I read it. It was sent to me this morning. I read it. A couple people disagreed with you, but I think you had some valid points, and I agree. And we need good leadership. Is it the key? No. Is it 100%? No. But you know what? Like the old saying goes, captain goes down with his ship. And you know what? The problem is this ship has been sinking for years. It's not 1960. It's not 1970. It's not even the 80s anymore. And that's fine. I'm 62 years old. I want people to step up. I said, listen, man, I got a couple more good years about knocking on doors and stuff. I'll be in a scooter from the scooter store, and being in the military takes your toll. I have, see, there you go. Yes, I have a marketing company, want to help. Once I saw what happened, I talked to multiple people who ran, no support, just want to win. You're absolutely right. You nailed it. And like I said, your what 16-page report, nailed it. Great graphics, great charts. You didn't use the $3 big fancy words. You broke it down so everybody can read it and understand it. I put the link on my Facebook page, and hopefully it'll get some traction. And we actually have a meeting on Wednesday, as we talked about at the headquarters out in Mill Creek. I think it's at 5:30, and it's come to Jesus meeting about what went wrong. Well, yeah, a lot went wrong because a lot didn't go right. And then I said earlier, I know I can't factor the city because we had a pretty good hint that there was not going to be a red wave, and we knew that. But some of the other races for sheriff, I ran for sheriff a couple years ago. The numbers were still the same, a big gap. And I think this whole pushback against the Republicans has been well orchestrated, well-oiled type of mission. Mission completed. They're starting to win back these local races that they lost. And so I believe it's open to the public. It's not a committee meeting. The actual meeting is on Thursdays, where they have it open to the public. and then they have a committee meeting time. So yeah, Tom, you're more than welcome to come out and see. Now, if there's more than 20 people show up, it's going to be standing room only, because that's another philosophical thing I disagree with. We had a really huge building. They went to a little tiny small building, and if you put 25 people in that room, it's full. So yeah, Tom, reach out, send me an instant message and we're any questions. So we do have some eye-opening videos. So Brenda, if you'd be so kind.
So Mondani wins, and already he's promising rent freezes, free buses, free childcare, tax hikes on the wealthy, all to pay for it. But here's the truth. He knows none of that can actually happen. New York's rent laws are set by the state, not the city. A mayor can't just freeze rent. He'd have to get Albany to pass a law. Same with the buses. The MTA is controlled by the state, not the city. And free childcare? That takes new funding from the state budget, which is already in deficit. They're not paying for it. Even if he's tried to raise city taxes, the wealthy and middle class earners would just leave, like they've been doing for years. Please don't come to Florida. That means less tax revenue, not more. So what's the real plan? It's not to keep the promises, it's to keep people divided. When the money runs out, he'll just say it's because the rich didn't pay their fair share. That's a familiar line, right? He'll blame landlords, business owners, and anyone who succeeds. That's how class warfare politics works. Create impossible expectations, watch them fail, and then weaponize the anger for the next election. Let's just hope Americans know better than to fall for these empty promises come the 2026 midterm.
There were a few months ago where I told supporters across this city to stop donating. And today I am asking them to start once again. And I am asking them to do so because of the fact that a transition that can meet the moment of preparing for January 1st is one that will require staff, it will require research, it will require infrastructure. And those are things that we will have to provide. And I'm excited for the fact that it will be funded by the very people who brought us to this point, the working people who have been left behind by the politics of the city.
It's me, Zoran the Moron. Now that I'm elected, please send money.
Begin. The time has come to unveil the true power within. Watch as the world bends to my will.
Now, of course, the last section was an AI clip. The other guns, another guy is a influencer on TikTok. I follow him. He's got some great grounded stuff content that he puts up there. So that's where we kind of like scour the internet looking for things that we want to weave into ours to make our points. That way, because I know the city council, Jasmine, Miss Racist herself, accuses us of skewing our facts. So what do? We make sure we have a source that says, here's our facts. We're quoting CNN. We're quoting NBC, MJRPQMB people this week, Now Dave is Tom, I know you're new here in the room. Dave is a guy that lives in the city of Erie. He is a crack shot video maker. Now, Dave, we did have to edit down just a little bit because we were a little tight on time tonight. We want to keep it right around an hour. So Dave puts these videos together. He does a hybrid, stuff he finds on the internet, and then also from his personal security cameras from his house in Erie. So Brenda, this one does come with a disclaimer. It is some adult content. Now to set the stage just a little bit more, this is how brazen these people really are. To just walk into people's yards. There's signs that say "Smile, you're on camera," and they just don't care. Welcome to City of Erie, and you wonder why the City of Erie is going down the proverbial toilet. And of course, Dave has a whole series of these. The nuisance bar that's literally around the corner. I mean, wow, this is where at 6th and Parade, where they literally just decided to do a street dance and shut Parade Street down in the middle of the night and blasting music. Where PSP, Erie PD, and I swear everybody is just out there having a good time. But again, Dave puts these things together from his own personal security cameras throughout his house, the front, back, and everything. And Dave, you do a good job. Like I said, we were a little bit tight on time, so we just kind of cut the very funny intros out. So like I said, we're gonna clip right along. Our next one, go ahead. This
Senate
explains.
needs 60 votes to pass a bill.
These days, you need 60 votes for everything.
You need 60 votes. Requires 60 votes in the United States Senate.
But in the Senate, you've got this rule where you got to get, these days, 60 votes.
You need 60 votes to get many things done.
60 votes, and you can block it with 40.
The United States Senate, you got to have 60 votes for everything.
You still have to deal with 60 votes.
You need 60 votes to pass a law in the Senate.
60 votes to get anything passed.
You need 60 votes?
You need 60 votes. We need 60 votes.
And we need 60 votes.
Not 50 votes.
60 votes.
Obviously, you need 60 votes.
Everything requires 60 votes.
And we've got to get 60 votes in the Senate.
If you don't have 60 votes, you can't get legislation passed.
Say that in plain English, it means you have to have 60 votes.
We need 60 votes in the Senate. You need 60 votes.
You still need 60 votes over in the Senate.
With spending bills subject to 60 votes.
If you couldn't get 60 votes, you couldn't get something moving.
And of course, the Senate requires 60 votes.
It's a supermajority. You need 60 votes.
You've got to get essentially 60 votes in order to get anything through the Senate.
In the Senate, they need 60 votes.
Something called a filibuster that requires 60 votes.
You need 60 votes.
You still need 60 votes.
They need 60 votes.
Because you need Democrats and Republicans to pass a bill.
You need Democratic votes to pass a budget. Everybody's known that. That's been the rule in the Senate for years.
But according to the Democrats, it's the Republicans' fault. And we have Mr. Kennedy having his presentation here coming up very quickly. Of course, his backspin to politics is just amazing. And it's funny how they point the finger at the Republicans, and Trump, Davis. All the ills of the county were because of Davis, not because they have a Democrat whack job on county council that basically suing the county executive to raise taxes. And now they're asking for another $8 million plus, almost $8 million worth of tax increases. And you just wait till Vogel gets in there. It will be a tax and spend. I know I talked about this before, that $60-some million surplus. You watch them, just back to Dave's video, piss it away. They will fund every ultra whack job, liberal, Black Wall Street, DEI, anybody that comes in from money, they're going to get it. You watch. You just watch. Well, these are recorded on YouTube, so that way we can come back at a year from now and go say, well, Brian told you so. I told you so. But yeah, so what do we got next? No Trump deranged senator.
Taking to Truth Social earlier this morning, writing, quote, I am recommending to Senate Republicans that the hundreds of billions of dollars currently being sent to money-sucking insurance companies in order to save the bad health care provided by Obamacare be sent directly to the people so that they can purchase their own much better health care and have money left over. In other words, take from the big bad insurance companies, give it to the people, and terminate per dollar spent the worst health care anywhere in the world, Obamacare. Unrelated, we must still terminate the filibuster. Here to react, Oklahoma Senator and GOP Conference Vice Chair James Langford. Senator, thanks for being here. Let me just get your reaction to what President Trump is really putting out on Truth Social.
Yeah, it's one of the key reasons that we have continued to be able to push back on what Chuck Schumer is trying to be able to peddle. He's saying, hey, let's just do a one-year extension of these Obamacare subsidies. And the general media gets out there and says, that sounds so reasonable. But what they're really saying is send $40 billion straight to insurance companies that some of them have had between 500 and 1,000% increase in their stock just since the time of Obamacare. So they're saying send all this money to insurance companies and it'll be fine. What the Democrats are not saying is it's pumping money to insurance companies, not to people to be able to help. It's only for about 20 million people, the select group that they have picked. It's not the general population line. Most people's insurance rates are going to continue to go up. Democrats are only trying to subsidize a certain group of folks. It's also funding directly towards abortion. And Democrats won't say this. This was their end around to be able to fund elective abortions by sending money to insurance company, then allowing the insurance to be able to cover abortions as well. So the dutiful media just continues to be able to say this sounds so reasonable from Chuck Schumer, but the facts belie that.
Well, and so to be fair, we'll let you hear a little bit of, let our viewers hear a little bit of what Chuck Schumer says he's offering. Listen to this, Senator.
Democrats are ready to clear the way to quickly pass a government funding bill that includes health care affordability. Leader Thune just needs to add a clean one-year extension of the ACA tax credits to the CR so that we can immediately address rising health care costs. The ball is in the Republicans' court. We need Republicans to just say yes.
But, Senator, you say no thanks.
Yeah, I say absolutely no thanks. His statement of just Republicans come vote with us, fund abortion from federal tax dollars, send billions of dollars to insurance companies, to just a select group of people, not to help everyone in America, send money to people making up to $500,000 a year. That's what their subsidies for. And also folks on the lower end of it where they're doing zero premiums there. We've actually found there's a tremendous amount of fraud where insurance companies are signing up people that don't even know they have the coverage. So Democrats are saying, let's just keep that rolling. That's working good for us. Let's just keep that rolling. I think the American taxpayer is saying, nope, that's not what we're looking for.
And Senator, just in the last few seconds I do want to get your take on where you stand. Would you support breaking the filibuster, even if in a narrow appropriations lane, to open the government back up?
Yeah, I don't support breaking the filibuster because I've seen up close and personal what Joe Biden would do. If Donald Trump was president from here on out, that wouldn't be an issue, but it's not going to be forever. I don't know who's the president 5 years from now, 10 years from now. Once you break it, you break it, and I know what Joe Biden would have done with that.
Senator James Langford, thank you for taking time and giving us your insight.
You bet. Good to see you again.
Good to see you.
Well, we do have a special guest in the room that just decided to show up and say a few words. Our county executive elect, Ms. Vogel, has chimed into the room on a text. I did put it up on the main screen there. Well, we did give the Democrats we did give them a chance, and her name was Kathy Dalkamper. And let's not forget how she wanted to give her chief of staff $10 million for his private little nonprofit. And it wasn't for the Republicans and reasonable Democrats on county council. We shut her down because she wanted to blow $10 million of tax dollars to the DEI. No, absolutely not. That's the last time we gave a Democrat a chance. So you've got your chance. And don't you think we won't be yapping at your heels the whole way? Because with Drexel, bobblehead, the rest of the Democrats on there, you're going to get whatever you want. They're going to get whatever they want. You're not going to tell them no, and they're not going to tell you no. This isn't our first rodeo. I sat in that chair. I was on county council. I was the chairman of county council. You run a pizza shop. Hey, that's great. Well, knock yourself out. You flamboozled the folks into voting for you under the vote blue no matter who, and your deep, dark, dirty money you took. And let's not talk about the loans you still owe the county, which I don't know how you're legally going to do that. But hey, I'm not a lawyer. So don't you think we won't be watching you every step of the way? And we will make sure that every step is broadcasted live on this show, because you know what? What the Democrats did was dirty. Dirty pool, just like how they spent and you know what? We talked about this. The dirty money that comes in and influences these local elections, like Drexel, $200,000. Christine Vogel, over $200,000. Oh, that's right. Chris Campanelli, over $270,000 to influence local elections, where these elections shouldn't cost more than a couple bucks. Let's talk about Tyler Titus, that spent almost what was it? What was it? 200 and some odd $1,000 of deep dark California money. Yeah, okay. Good luck. Just like we predicted, you did it. You took that dirty, deep money, and we will never forgive you. So, you know what? We will be on your heels every step of the way. And we're going to sit back and say, I told you so, told you so, and look at that, and Kathy Dalcamper, I warned you, but hey, you do what you want to do. It's your campaign. You won. Good luck. I can't wait to see you work 80 hours a week on that job. I really can't. Other than that, it's enough of my rant. What else you got? Oh yeah, this is another deep, dirty Democrat, transgender whack job that should be locked up in jail for a long time, but they just skate around because Democrats are above the law. Shoot it, Brenda.
Former New Hampshire State Representative Stacey Lofton, who is a man who pretends to be a female, was arrested in June for alleged distribution of pornographic material depicting children. He was initially elected to the New Hampshire legislature in 2012, but was unable to serve due to being on probation for a 2008 felony conviction of credit card fraud. He was arrested for domestic violence / criminal mischief in 2002 and in 2003 for sexually assaulting a woman. Back then, he still went by his real name, Barry Charles Lofton. He officially changed his name in December 2010 to Stacy. He was then arrested in 2015 for making bomb threats to the Southern New Hampshire Medical Center. Despite Lofton's criminal past, the candidate was elected in 2020 and again in 2022, but was never seated for the second term after being jailed again for multiple stalking related charges. Clearly, this guy is just trying to make a name for himself, a new name for himself, Stacy, by transitioning. Because if you transition, you are absolved of all of your immorality, all of your depravity, and all of your past crimes. You become, rather than the oppressor, which he obviously is, the oppressed. You get a lot of social and political capital simply from wearing a skirt and lipstick and changing your name from Barry to Stacy.
Okay. Christine Vogel chimed in. Whoa. Almost all that money was local. I disagree with that. Well, no, that it is dark money, and it still was over $200,000. Trust me, we've already looked at we looked at all of them. Trust me. And I'm seriously considering pulling my business out of Area Insurance because they're stacking the deck with Democrats, spending my dollars to elect Democrats. I just might cancel all my insurances, go somewhere else, because that they should keep their nose out of it. I know they're the Fortune 500 company, and they'll probably put $1 million against me if I ever decide to run again. But you know what? They should stay out of politics and just run their business. But hey, that's fine. I've invited you on the show. You cowered away. You wouldn't come on the show. And that's fine. I told you this was dirty business. I warned you, and I told you, and I told you, and I warned you. And that's fine. You want to run? That's great. You knocked yourself out. Now you've got the job. Now you're in the spotlight, and we will be watching every step you do, every step you take. There's a great song, by the way. Yeah. So you're going to say you didn't have over $200,000 worth of campaign donations? I doubt You can argue that because we've already seen your reports. Trust me, we go over them very, very fine tooth. You know, we get that. So you've been invited on the show. You chose not to come on the show, and now you have won. Now you're the Democrat elected county official. Now we're going to treat you the way you guys treated Brenton Davis. You just wait. You just watch what happens now. We were going to be on you every step of the way. You know, you know, all your little whack job Democrat buddies that attack us on Facebook and make weird sexual website posts about us. You know what? That sucks when that table gets turned around. I've been working. Okay. You're going to be working as the county executive that works 80 hours a week. I don't know if Kathy Dalcamper ever did because she was out riding her bicycle and spending, you know, trying to get $10 million for the DEI commission for Gary Lee, which was her chief of staff. Oh, gee, no dirty Democrat bullshit there, was there, Ms. Vogel? Did you know that? I bet you didn't. But if you did, you probably went, that's okay, because that's what Democrats do. Yeah, okay, good luck. Good luck. All right, Brenda, what do you got next? Oh, yeah, this is another...
I don't know what else to do. I voted 14 times to open up government. I can't change the election. President Trump was duly elected President of the United States. He was. In a free election. And the American people spoke. And some of my colleagues are upset about that. In fact, they hate the president so much, they've shut down government. They hate him so much that if President Trump came out in favor of breathing to live, they would hold their breath. It's not rational. And I just don't know what else to do. All I can tell my Democratic friends is, look, reasonable people disagree, and I get it. But you're just being too emotional. You need to go drink a big, old, cold, tall glass of get over it.
Democrats, they got a chance to vote to pay the military. Fine, you don't want to open up the government? How about pay the military essential workers? Guess how many Democrats voted to do that? 3. John Fetterman, Raphael Warnock, and John Ossoff. 3 Democrats voted to pay the military. Now John Kennedy says, let's vote to remove our pay until military members get paid. Can't wait to see how many Democrats vote on that. Let me propose a very simple solution here. Filibuster, not in the Constitution. Filibuster, not passed legislatively. Filibuster can be removed for the sole purpose of spending bills. You can just remove the filibuster and open the government. When military members are hurting, when we're not safe in the skies, it is time to nuke the filibuster for spending bills because Democrats are hurting our country.
There you go.
Well, there you go. There you got it. Bill, no one, she's not hijacking the show. Trust me. It gave me more talking points to do it because you know what, man, she has no clue what she's got herself into. No clue. You know, yeah, she's too busy working. But then what happens? So I'm sorry, I'm the county executive, but I got to go make pizzas this afternoon. Sorry, no, that's not how it works. And you in for a hard lesson. What else you got? Kennedy 2. Oh, we got 2 Kennedys.
Senator John Kennedy joins me now. He serves on the Budget and Appropriations Committee. Senator Kennedy, welcome. Always good to have you with us. What is your response to Chuck Schumer's proposal here to keep those ACA benefits going for another year, bipartisan committee to work on those, and reopen the government with the clean CR?
God, please give me patience, because if you give me strength, I'm going to need bail money. What Senator Schumer is suggesting is that we do the dumbest thing possible that won't work. Stupid should hurt more.
I know I said this once before. I said it 1,000 times whenever we play his stuff on this show. I just go, man, someone better be writing this stuff down because these are absolutely, so absolute fun. funny, but yeah, no, I mean, this is what the show's about. It's about, you want to step on the porch with the big dogs, you better be ready to run, because you know what? You're not running a pizza shop anymore. Now you're in the spotlight. Now you will feel the wrath of the people. Now you will feel what I had to feel, and now you will feel what Bretton Davis had to feel, because you know what? It's not a nice feeling. It's not. You know what? And you better be able to run, because it's not. I don't know what kind of baloney Kathy Dalcamper blew up your skirt, but man, you will find out. It is nothing like that campaign. Nothing like it. No, we're going to campaign. You said you've invited me, and I never came. I was going to event. Not my problem. Okay, you want to go to all your little Democrat buddy little fundraisers? That's great. We had other candidates come on the show. We've had Democrats come on the show. I invited everybody. You made a choice to go do what you needed to do to go blow smoke up the Democrats' backsides to get elected. You don't want to come on the show? Don't. And I was in my nice mode. Now I'm not in nice mode, because I see the baloney that you guys pulled, and I see the disgusting amount of money you people spent on these elections, and and Sam Tallarico didn't even endorse you. Your own chairman did not endorse you for this job. But you know what? He's sure proud of you now, and talking about, blue wave. There was no blue wave. You guys took 2 positions in the whole county that possibly could have went red. Erie City wasn't going to go red. We know that. That's not a wave. That's not a blue wave. That's all bullshit. That's all Sam Tallarico and his twisted bullshit. You should read the crap he says on social media about Davis and all of us. I don't even think that Tom Petty even knows how to use Facebook, let alone come on there and just rip into Davis and me and other Republicans are on there. You've got the job. Guess what? You better be able to run, because I'll tell you what. But the nice factor is you're a Democrat, and the local media never says anything sideways on Democrats. They always get the puppy dog pizza and ice cream questions. That's fine. We get that. We've had to work. So, don't think you're going to come in here and think you're going to get loves and kisses and puppy dog tails. It's not going to happen, because you're going to earn that job, and we will be at the meetings. We will be there. And you know what? Elections have consequences. So yeah. Other than that, I think that's pretty much all we have. I think, Brendan, is that all we got?
That would be correct.
All right. Well, like I said, we're going to try to keep the shows on Sundays a little on the shorter side. We've got some new folks to come in here. Vogel, you want to call in anytime, you can call in. I mean, you're not going to. I know you won't. Just like you were challenged to a second debate. You wouldn't do it. You guys waited. The Democrats drugged their feet until after the mail-in ballots were out to show what a bad job you did on that. That was horrible. Absolutely horrible. And Chris Drexel, he lied his ass off about when we asked him for a debate. Oh, I never got that. Well, that's funny. Dr. Ford from Penn State Barron has the emails from Drexel. He's a liar. And most Democrats are liars. They blame us for everything, and they take no accountability for anything they do. You've got the county now, and your Democrats have control of council. I guarantee we will absolutely see you guys at least chew through half of the surplus on your bullshit DEI, hug a thug, Black Wall Street, blah, blah, blah stuff that doesn't affect the county. Remember, the county, it's a place south of I-90, not just the 95,000 people that live in the city of Erie. It's the 270,000 people that live in Erie County that Kathy Dalcamper did nothing for. Just like you won't do nothing for them, just like all the rest of them do. Like Andrew Graves, Mayor Graves, thanks for coming in. If it wasn't for Brenton Davis, you wouldn't have got that money. And if it wasn't for Brenton Davis and myself, Northeast wouldn't have got their money. Chris Drexel is a bold-faced liar. I was at a deal with him. Oh, I love Northeast. I'm going to move my family out here. You're not moving anywhere, Chris, because you have the sweetest deal in Erie County. You absolutely pay nothing in taxes and nothing because you live on the skirts of your wife. Good gig if you can get it. So, that's fine. Whatever. We'll watch, Chris. We're going to be watching. Trust me. We will see what you do. I want to see you with your boots out on my roof shoveling snow this winter. Why? Chris Drexel didn't do it. He showed up and said, I'm scared of the roof. I can't go up there. And he left while we shoveled snow all day and night. And then Brenton brought out the county inmate workers, and you guys chastised him for that, which is totally legal because on the state level, they do it every day at SCI Albion and SCI Cambridge Springs. They bring the inmates out and they make them work, not like the Democrat hit job you guys have done. You guys have done nothing but hit job after hit piece after hit piece. And that's the only way you got elected. The only way you got elected. I'm leaving. I'm done. It's almost 8 o'clock. I want to thank everybody who got out. Special thank you to Brenda for putting all the stuff together. I did. Look at my neck's not even dude. I'm fine, Bill. Thank you for your concern. No, when you see stuff, I don't lose my temper. I'll get fired up, and because it pisses me off. Because now we're going to get another tax increase. The city, look what the Democrats in the city of Erie did. That was the most shittiest political stunt bullshit move I've ever seen in politics. Right after a huge, huge win. Oh, by the way, you're getting a tax increase. You're going to get a fee increase. You're going to get another fee increase. And oh yeah, we're going to increase that fee too. Well, but guess what? We haven't had a tax increase in 6 years. Yeah, but you sure raised the shit out of the fees. On that happy note, Shank out. Outro video, please, Brendo.
Fight has never been clear. Take a good look in the mirror and tell me what you see. They throw their stones to silence people, build up their walls to celebrate evil. Destructions are what they seek, and they got their man Charlie. But like an avalanche rolling downhill, like a fighter imposing his will, an army is born. Like the force of a tsunami wave, rising up, going boldly in faith. We cried and we mourned, but now this is war. One bullet, one shot, but don't be mistaken. They took out a life, but united a nation, and we are not afraid. We rise up against those demonic forces who kill and destroy, but for God who our Lord is, standing strong and brave. The sleeping giant waves, like an avalanche rolling downhill, like a fighter imposing his will, an army is born. Like the force of a tsunami wave, rising up, going boldly in faith. We cried and we mourned, but now this is war. They took out someone, a dead husband and son, because of his views and his faith. They thought they had won, no idea what they've done. Now they're lying in the bed that they've made. They took out someone, a dead husband or son, because of his views and his faith. They thought they had won, no idea what they've done. Now they're lying in the bed that they've made, and they created a martyr that day. Like an avalanche rolling downhill, a prize fighter imposing his will, an army is born. Like the force of a tsunami wave, rising up, going boldly in faith. We cried and we mourned, but now this is war. Like an avalanche rolling downhill, a prize fighter imposing his will. He lived without fear. Oh, like the force of a tsunami wave, rising up, going boldly in faith. It won't disappear. Now the whole world hears. So let me be clear, Charlie, we got it from here.
All right, everybody. Thanks for coming out tonight. I appreciate you all for coming out. Again, if you have a minute, follow that link. Please vote for me. I appreciate it. We were the People's Choice Awards because we're not afraid to tell the truth. We don't hide behind other people's skirts, and we stand alone. If we have to take a loss, we lost on our own. We didn't cheat, we didn't steal, and we didn't take dirty PAC money from bullshit entities. Shank out.